Do you mean like empowering or powerful in what sense?
Okay, so what would you consider to be powerful media?
Good question. I am more on the information side of it than the entertainment. Obviously, to get the information across, you have to be slightly entertaining too. So what makes that powerful is really, you have to believe in your message, you have to communicate it to the other person. And one of my beliefs is that to communicate a new idea to somebody else, you have to be speaking their language.
I think if it's benefiting someone's life and maybe, introducing new views or changing someone's opinion on something, it's a pretty powerful thing. Or if it's towards like a movement that's going on and it portrays a certain viewpoint that you wouldn't get otherwise, I think that's powerful.
For some reason, the first thing that comes to mind is just like environmental stuff, though that's not necessarily powerful, but a lot of things are shared that way over media, like the news or something, though it's not necessarily good news. That news can be a power of some sort towards people, I guess.
Good stories, in my opinion, are stories that are well researched, incorporate voices that maybe aren't often heard, or maybe are voices that are being silenced.
What makes powerful media? Truth makes powerful media. The idea that the media is actually providing the people of a society with access to what's really happening as opposed to what influential people in the society want people to know. So I think truth makes powerful media.
When you do it for the right reason, they genuinely want to do this, and it's something they really want to do, because if you're just going out there with no one helping you, you're not getting anything from it, you don't know what you're, you don't know how to start anything or understand the whole YouTube stuff. They're really doing it just for the fun of it, and they really want to put something out. So I think people who do that are amazing.
Something that grabs your attention and is able to keep it. Usually something that you're interested in, that catches your eye at first. So something that speaks to a wide range of people.
So powerful media doesn't mean that you have the biggest antenna. It doesn't mean that you have the biggest star. It means that you are able to tell a story that is going to touch the people you want to reach.
People comment on my videos or send me Instagram DMs or tweets asking me oh, what lights do you use? What camera do you use? I feel like that's not as important as being yourself, and I feel you don't have to worry so much about what you're using. It's more about what you bring. You just have to be very confident in yourself, and as long as it's something that you want to do that you enjoy, I feel that's all that matters.
I feel like any media is powerful. Those kind of movies that can show me something that somehow seems really real to me, and some media is really able to portray that. And I think that's kind of what makes a good movie, is if I can imagine it, actually kind of see it.
It's so real.
Yeah, and it brings feelings up.
I think just being very genuine, and being very personal, not catering to what's popular, making something you're genuinely passionate about. The best thing that you could do as a YouTuber is to just stay true to who you are.
I feel passionate about community media because I feel like without community media, without the resources that are available in my community for me to access and then use to create my own media, I would have never learned how to be a media maker.
The more that I'm around it and I realize it now that I've kind of stepped out of it and looked at the culture as a whole, I do think that, sometimes it does suck that there are people, for example, making short films who are getting, less views or less money from their content. even though a lot more time is poured into it. Meanwhile, a popular vlogger, just because they have the fan base they have, are able to make a bunch of money off of a video that 10 other people have done. And even though it may be amusing and it may be entertainment, and that is what the fan's looking for, it sucks that it's sometimes valued higher than things that are more thoughtfully planned out.
There is always going to be content that is more catchy and more interesting than other content. And entertainment is always going to be more entertaining than news and information. And that's just the way that is. And there are going to be some people that are more effective at telling the story than others.
There's always the urge to communicate. That's kind of what we do as humans. We have entered in this new era now where the communication can't be stopped, even though temporarily they can try and they can delay it. But we're at the point where the entire human race is all connected.
In order to build community, you have to move from online to offline, because face-to-face is really how we build community and build relationships. It's where we, smell people and touch them and see the light in their eyes and think, oh, I want to be your friend. I think that the greatest benefit for you in having made this video and do this work is that now you'll never look at media the same way again. And so you're forever changed and now are becoming a truly critical media consumer. And we can only hope that more people would be more critical media consumers, because the political life of the United States would be very different if they were.
I think one of the most important things that I heard and was from Lauren Glenn was that to make powerful and meaningful media, you need to know who your audience is, and you need to, as well, Bonnie Scott said this, you need to be speaking the language of your audience. So I don't think necessarily by that she meant literally speaking the language of them, but you need to be aware of what is important to them, what matters to the people that you're trying to affect, and figure out what platforms are the best way to communicate that message to them.
Are you excited to make more media?
Yes. I have plans of doing another one soon, actually.